All right, who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Woo-woo! Episode 27, Dirt Life Show. I'm Georgie Hamill, as always. And in studio tonight, we got Moto Monday. I got my buddy Casey Peck. What's going on, dude?
What's up, man?
How's things going?
It's going good. I actually had some good news and bad news this week. I had some final news on my neurologist told me I was good to go. So,
with all your brain stuff?
Yep, so I'm clear, and March 6th is the 6th anniversary of that last surgery. So that was good. Good news.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and then people that don't know, like you had to have some, tumors removed?
Yep.
And, man, that stuff is gnarly. My mom had the same thing. And not to start the show off on a crazy note, we're going to have Supercross review. That's bitching.
Yep.
But it's always good to hear those stories, man. I'm so proud of you for all the things that you've done and the way that you came back. You did the RC car stuff, and just to be in the position you are now, and you're still, in my opinion, very smart. So, man, they didn't touch and tickle your brain too much.
Not too bad, I guess. But, yeah, so that was good news. Bad news is my pops is in the hospital, and he's doing better. We had a pretty rough couple days, but he's doing a lot better, and him and my sister are watching tonight. So, hey, guys. And
Hi, Jim. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a shout-out to all my friends and family that have reached out and, been supportive. We're feeling the love, and we're thankful for all the prayers and everybody's comments and support.
I can tell you, man, that stuff really makes a huge difference, especially like when I was in the situation, 10 months ago when I almost lost my life. It's crazy to see how many people actually care, you know? And it means a lot, and it really, really does help the person in need.
Well, agreed, and it also starts to show the people that you've impacted, right? The people that you've impacted their life, so they're reaching out to say, hey.
Yeah, just because you see how much they care. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's cool, man. Well, I'm glad to hear your dad's doing better, too. So we hope that you get better, Jim. And, thanks for Sarah to watching, too. Are the kids watching tonight?
I don't know. They might. They were a little mad at your bad language last time. So.
They don't like George cussing?
Yeah.
All right. I'll try to keep it a little bit down. Shelby and Lily, thanks for you got a cuss jar at your house?
We need to.
Yeah.
You'd have it full. We all would. Come on.
Put a cuss jar at my house.
None of us are perfect.
Have them come over and just cash in all the time.
Yeah, right. Great.
All right, Shelby and Lily, I'll try to keep it down a little bit. If I forget, then you can let me know. Episode 27, man, it's really cool. Every time we have one more episode, I still get that much more pumped up, dude. It's like going to a new race. Like, you can do things better.
Right.
You always have more to look forward to, so I'm really stoked on it. Today we have Moto Monday, and we have one of your buddies, actually, Steve Westfall, crew chief of the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team.
Yep, can't wait.
So how'd you actually meet him?
Through RC again. Isn't
Really?
it funny how the different worlds collide? So many of these guys that they're just awesome guys and gals. Who would have thought, right? You're kind of done with one thing, and you think you got as far as you did with that, and then you get into something else, and it's so funny how the worlds collide. I never would have met him or knew anything about it, and we would have had that. We grew up doing moto the same, but totally.
We'll talk to him and see what he thinks about the RC stuff too.
Yeah,
it is crazy how that translates. And I got into RC car racing because of you. And for people that don't know in our audience who the top dogs in RC are, you were one of them. A guy named Ryan Mayfield's one of them. A guy named Adam Drake is one of them. There's a bunch of different people, and I've got to meet a lot of those guys through you. And it's kind of like meeting, Steve, like Supercross guys, and just that high level. It's so cool to see that. And I never thought I'd play with toy cars, right?
Yeah,
you probably never thought you'd play with toy cars.
It's so cool. And a little bit of a correction. I definitely wasn't at that level that those guys are. I mean, those are probably the best, top 5 in the whole world. But I was a supporting guy and was around and fairly relevant, for a little time frame, and did my fair share of developing, etc. And
I don't know, man. You should give yourself a little bit more credit. I thought you were like Jeremy McGrath when I saw you drive.
No, that's what I mean. Is so now take that level and say Mayfield.
Yeah. Those guys,
it's pretty amazing.
Those guys are awesome. And so for people that don't know anything about RC car racing, there's all kinds of different things to do. But a lot of guys that raced motocross now do RC cars. Like if they get hurt, maybe
Right.
they can't afford it, whatever the thing is, they go into RC car racing, and it gives them the same kind of level of competition,
It
the
does.
same, like
Yep.
certain adrenaline. You got to, pick your lines, do all that fun
Yep.
stuff. And it's really actually pretty cool. It's not just toy cars like everybody talks about. It's
Right.
actual racing.
Right.
And there's a lot of, you've mentioned a couple other shows, there's a lot of stuff that translates over, like setup skills and certain things like that. So,
Yeah, look at what Chris is doing. Chris Nunes we had last week, and that's a smart kid. He's got quite the sharp head on his shoulders.
he texted me a few times this week too, and you could just tell that kid's got a brain on him.
That was a fun interview, and definitely supporting him and his family in whatever they're doing. That's going to be awesome. We can't wait to see where he ends up.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't race to just go RC car, go-kart racing with him.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, yeah. So, like we said, episode 27, Steve Westfall is our featured guest tonight of the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Racing Team. They were just at Arlington for Supercross. That race was pretty cool, man. I texted Casey earlier in the day, and I said, how rad would it be if all the Rockstar guys do super good tonight for our interview with Steve on Monday? And they didn't disappoint, that's for sure.
Well, and on that second or that third main, again, I'm not a huge fan of that format, and I would bet Steve's...
Oh, for the
Triple Crown
format, yeah.
I'll bet Steve's going to say the same. But the way that was playing out when Anderson was leading, I was like, oh, man, are we really going to be like, Steve, you guys got it?
Yep.
But, he obviously, that whole team did well, and
Absolutely.
both podiums, so it was good to see Jason kind of get it back going again.
And even the lights class too. RJ Hampshire did fantastic.
That was awesome too.
Well, so let's get thank you to the audience. Thank you guys very, very
Absolutely.
much for tuning in. We hope some of Steve's buddies can watch tonight. Maybe some of his family can watch.
Right.
We both started Facebook watch parties tonight too, successfully.
Yeah, finally got it figured out.
Yeah, so
Well,
that's
kinda.
cool. So hopefully you guys can watch either on our personal channels or on the Dirt Life Show. You can always reach us at thedirtlifeshow.com. We have all of the links up to all of our episodes in audio format, video format. It's got links to our YouTube channel, iTunes, Facebook, all that stuff. So thedirtlifeshow.com is one central repository. You can go check everything out. If you want to just go on social media, you can reach us on all the social media platforms at The Dirt Life Show. Instagram is always the best because we check it the most, and me personally or one of our guys will respond back to you as soon as we can. So we really enjoyed talking with you guys. Please feel free to comment in anytime tonight. We really, really want to hear your questions. If you got any questions for Steve, you just want to throw him a shout out. If you want to just talk to us and let us know what you think about how awesome of a guy he is. We already got Thomas Squire. How's it going, Thomas? It's good to see you on live. And we want to thank all of our sponsors. As always, these guys, man, I've been talking to so many people that want to get involved with the show, too. I can't wait to see if some of these come to fruition. So
awesome.
We have some really, really cool stuff coming up, and I can't wait to have our sponsors involved with these things. So thank you very much to the guys at Shock Therapy. Justin has just been a fantastic dude throughout my racing career and also in the show. He's just a rad dude. Chase is always helping out with the video and content stuff over there. But you guys can also get a big old fat discount from them. Use the code DIRTLIFE. If you call them up, you can tell them we sent you. Get a big old fat discount, like I said, on any type of shock revalve, one of their kits. You can buy any of their products, T-shirts. I think they got sway bar links, all kinds of awesome stuff, man. So head over to shocktherapy.com or give them a call and let them know that the Dirt Life guys sent you over. And you can also do the same code, the Dirt Life, with Zollinger Racing products. Zollinger Racing makes some of the awesomest stuff. Accessories for your UTVs, tons and tons of badass machines over there, man. They can pretty much machine anything. They got a 5-axis, a bunch of different production machines. We just gave away some radius rods. We have some other products that we're going to show you guys pretty soon of theirs. They just have awesome, awesome products, all made in the United States, and we have some really cool, fun stuff coming up with those guys. Travis and his team over at Zollinger are just fantastic guys, too. I've told Casey in the past that there's plenty of people that we can work with, but we choose the best companies. We really, really, really enjoy the people.
Yep,
and
it's about the people.
Always about the people. So thank you very much, Zoology Racing Products. Use the code DIRTLIFE, get a big old fat discount. And obviously Lance and his team, Vanessa over at Solderweld, those guys are always kicking butt in the with the off-road repair kit. They got their magnetic welding blanket. We're going to take our off-road repair kit to the dunes this weekend. I'm so stoked. So
sounds like fun.
It's going to be fun, but we're going to be protected too, thanks to those guys. So thank you very much, Lance and Vanessa and everybody on the Solderweld team for supporting the show. So, yeah, man.
Real quick, speaking of good people, Josh Shorter.
That
was, 6 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, Josh Shorter of Thor Motorcross.
So he was talking about how cool the San Diego Supercross is, and then that there's a SoCal motocross reunion. And hearing him say that made me look into it a little bit, and I saw a picture of the shirt, and I had to have it. But the way they do it is you have to order it.
You got the shirt for the Carlsbad MX reunion on tonight, huh?
So I saw the picture. I had to have it, but I can't go out to the
Where
thing.
did you research it at?
Just saw it popped up on Facebook. In fact,
if your phone knew you were talking about it?
Yeah, probably. Jim Conquest, which is the sticker guy of Supercross, basically. He's the guy behind the scenes doing all the cool last minute, awesome graphic stuff for all those guys. Anyways, he posted a picture, and I hit him up. I'm like, dude, how do I get this? So he got me in touch with
that shirt is sweet.
With Scott Burnworth. He puts it on, and I'm like, hey, dude, is there any chance that I can order those and you could just do me a favor and send it out to me? And he's like, heck yeah. So he did. And this thing, it just reminds me of what the dirt life.
Dude, how cool is that?
What the dirt life is all about. Like, to me, it talks about.
So the people that are listening on iTunes or audio, Casey's holding up a shirt with the 2020 Carlsbad Motocross reunion, and it's got an old school, vectorized picture of the back of a Datsun truck with two old dirt bikes in the back, over all the flags, like the international flags for all the times Carlsbad has just had such diverse races.
Oh, totally. And to me, there's so much going on here because. Like, the place is an iconic place, obviously, and all the awesome
races. Let's hold it up in front of the camera so
yeah.
everybody can see, man. That is so cool.
All the awesome races and people that have been there forever. But at the same time, it talks about, or to me, it speaks to the dirt life and the racer's mentality. Look, they're in a Datsun.
That's so
right?
cool.
It's this little junky truck because that's what we did. We all did that. And then all the money went into the bikes.
Right.
So, I saw it, and I was like, I got to have it. So big props to Scott for that.
We got to get hopefully Shorter's watching tonight. Josh Shorter, Thor Motocross, you better be watching, man. We got the Carlsbad reunion shirts in studio tonight. Yeah, it looks
awesome.
We can see this T-shirt really good on the video. If you if you guys are listening on iTunes and you want to just check it out, maybe to Casey we can take a picture of it and show it on social media just in case I don't want to listen to the whole episode again. That's an awesome shirt. So thanks to who got you that? Scott Burnsworth?
Scott Burnworth, yeah, he puts it on.
Okay.
And he did me a favor by I got the VIP treatment because you're supposed to buy it and then pick it up at the place.
Dude, that's cool.
At the deal. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, you got a smile on your face.
I do.
Dude.
I love it.
You're special tonight, huh?
Got it just in time. Got it washed. I'm all pumped.
Yeah. So before we talk about Arlington, Alfonso Jimenez chimed in, said thank you guys very much for the Shock Therapy for giving him a discount on his YXZ. They did kill it, man. Those guys do a great job, and he was so pumped. He said even his girlfriend his wife likes it better when they're going riding because it's way smoother.
Does it jar teeth out?
So, but he did say that she's a little bit more scared because now he's got like bigger cojones. So yeah,
that's funny.
So he's out there.
Awesome.
He's gonna actually be at the dunes with us this weekend, so that'll be pretty cool.
Sweet.
It'll be the second time I've got to. Well, it'll be basically the first time I've got to meet up with him and hang out because last time he came to the Warfighter Made, I think episode 23 at Warfighter Made, and he just got to hang out a little bit. But I was working the whole time, so it's hard to talk to him. So it'll be fun to see those guys at the dunes this weekend. Before we get into the Supercross stuff, man, I'm pretty excited. I just got the Unicorn got her sand slippers on.
Nice.
So she's got her paddle tires on today. I did some stuff with the steering rack. I got her all dialed in, man. So she's ready to go get her feet in the sand.
Yeah, and this is a pretty big deal. I know you're kind of playing it like it's not, but it wasn't that long ago that maybe we'd be not talking about this.
Yeah.
So this is huge. I'm pumped for you.
It is going to be a pretty big deal. Like it kind of gets me teared up just thinking about it. So I want to just like push past it and be all happy about it because
of course
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be super fun.
You're gonna enjoy
And my dad's going too.
Great.
Taking out the Razor 800. So that's going to be super fun. And we got a lot of cool people that are going to join us. Brian Lopez, Jeff Angel. Man, I can't even – there's so many people going. So it's going to be really cool. And it's going to be an off weekend, so it's going to be nice too. Like we're going to take it easy, go out there, just kind of see how my eyes do, see how my head does. And
Perfect.
Just it's going to be badass though, man. I'm excited. So
Good.
I can't wait. If anybody wants to come out there and hang out, we're going to be parked off Gecko Road. Just come say hi. Just yell Dirt Life and somebody will answer. Okay, so Arlington Supercross, man. What'd you think?
Pretty awesome. I was more excited about the East Coast 250 guys than I was the weekend before.
I definitely was too. And when the track doesn't have a split lane, it was nicer.
Yeah, definitely. However, that one section that was super one line before that
the finish,
the funky tabletop that was,
the corner before the finish. Yeah. That was dumb.
That was kind of dumb. That made for some guys getting blasted. But it was actually happening.
Oh yeah,
it was actually happening all over the place.
So there was two. Then there was the one after the finish and the one before the finish.
Right.
The one before the finish got everybody all jammed up, and then so you got jammed up, and then they could park the guy right after
it was
the finish.
Totally. Yeah, it was so open there, and like to that story, how many times did Jordan Smith have to get
blasted
taken to the dirt?
Poor guy.
It was like, man, didn't you learn the first 2 times or whatever it was? That kind of sucked for him.
Well, but there is a caveat to that. Like when you think about it, like he was really trying to keep up his momentum, like to not lose it going into the next rhythm section, because he was doomed either way. Like he was either getting parked or he was going to lose it if he, like somebody would pass him when the momentum going through that rhythm section. But that means that they did do a pretty good job on the track to make it so that the 250 guys couldn't do certain things if they didn't have enough speed. Like
made it racy.
Back in the day when we had 125s and we were like struggling to get over rhythms.
One of them, and one of them you couldn't do, kind of thing. Yeah,
so
I agree.
That portion of the track I thought was really cool, and the Triple Crown format didn't really disappoint very much this weekend. You're not a fan of it. I'm still on the fence.
For someone following it, it's awesome racing.
Yeah, you're talking about like somebody newbie or something?
Yeah, so for me, I guess I'm being a little more of an elitist about it because I'm still that, like, moto guy, you know what I mean? Like, Supercross is Supercross, but the real men are moto, but I still love Supercross. So I'm like, now you're kind of mixing it up for everybody to have a chance. But it makes for great racing, so I'm good with that. But again, I'll bet if we talk to the guys behind the scenes, they're like, really,
it just really blends up the talent, is what it does. Like
equalizer for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So for a people pleaser, it makes it like a lot better.
Agreed.
But we should ask Steve what he thinks about it and see what he says.
I have my bets, but we'll see.
Well,
maybe because his guys did awesome, he's like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, being a crew chief though, and having to maintain double the amount of bikes, and
that's what I'm saying.
And he's got a few guys on his team. I don't know if all the guys were healthy this weekend, but at least 6 bikes under the tarp that we know of.
Right, and
maybe 7.
So
maybe 8.
6 bikes. I'd love to get him to weigh in on this, but 6 guys riding, and then they're all head cases, of course, because they're professional athletes.
Each guy has 2 bikes.
Okay, right.
For the format.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
For just in case?
Yeah.
So with that,
he has to have double the work.
So double the work, and then all the riders and all their problems, and then all the mechanics that have to play to those problems, and then he has to manage it all and make sure he's got the right people in the right place. That's kind of what I'll bet it's just organized chaos.
I bet. We were texting back and forth, and he said it was kind of like that. So we'll have to get him chime in. Overall, though, like you said, I don't think the racing disappointed this weekend.
I agree.
I thought, first let's do the 250s. Like I thought when RJ Hampshire got out in front and started, who's one of Steve's guys, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Racing, I thought, well, holy crap, another guy's going to be in the mix? Like, this is going to be real. Like, I wasn't that interested in the East Coast.
I wasn't either. And I guess to the credit, it was the first round. But it didn't have the fireworks that it seems like Anaheim does.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, I don't know how it was last year with the first East Coast round. But anyways, the second.
It was awesome.
Yeah. And to see that there's another guy, I think, and Steve can chime in on this too, I think RJ was a little bit shy, a little bit gun shy. Maybe he wasn't used to or that gung-ho at being up front, like he's really assertive. He definitely wants to be up there. You can tell that he's fast, but I think it might take him a race or two, and then all of a sudden he's going to be battling with those dudes.
I agree. I think maybe that was just the coming out of the shell thing, like
yeah,
you said. He
exactly.
needed to get that weight off the back or whatever it was, and he was awesome. Because he looked good. I mean, he had the speed, obviously. He got decent starts.
And he wasn't going to back down from anybody.
He was not going to back down.
So I really enjoyed that. Like, I love seeing the fight in people. You know what I mean? Like, the actual, like, he just wanted it more than the other guys. You know what I mean? So
sure seemed that way.
It was like back in the day. You know what I mean? Like Jeff Stanton and Damon Bradshaw battling. You knew that they were not going to give an inch. You know what I mean? And it was just, to me, it was exciting to watch. I loved it.
Yeah, agreed. Very
so,
good.
Obviously, Chase Sexton and Shane McElrath, they both did very well. They were in this just ahead of the field. You know what I mean?
Did you see that pass that Sexton put on McElrath over that triple? It was like there was no room, and he just did it perfect, shut him out, but it was so clean.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like, those guys, I think, are going to race all year like that and be the contenders.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, I think.
If I'm going to compare Sexton to anybody, he's kind of like a Ryan Dungey. You know what I mean? Like, he's really got that clean-cut attitude, and he's really precise in everything he does. Like, when I saw that pass, I pictured, like, if this dude has anything wrong with his shifter, he's going to reach down with his hand and still shift. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do.
Like a total Dungey move.
Yeah, because he was down on the ground and back up, and that didn't faze him. He just went to work.
And he kind of did like McElrath did that too, but both of those guys worked through the field and never gave up. In a short amount of time, made it through the field, like a decent amount, like past 4 or 5 guys. Yeah. And anytime you get, like, this with RC car racing and Supercross, anytime you get up to, like, let's just say the top 5,
it's different.
Making a different pass or making another pass, and they made it look easy.
They did, yeah. That was pretty awesome. I've always supported, like I've said before, McElrath's always kind of been my guy. So I like to see him on the Yamaha.
Isn't he a bit older?
He is, yeah.
I wonder how old he is.
26, 27.
So that's almost a veteran, I guess, for the 250 class.
So what I was getting at, as I'm watching this, and I'm watching Sexton as he's not a rookie by any means, but he's fairly new to the scene, a couple years, right? As in the pro.
I think it's his third year.
So he's kind of the new guy still against the veteran that's about ready to point out.
Yep.
So that was really cool that they raced that way together and had that respect for each other, being that close.
That's why I was saying that Sexton acts like a done, like he's up there in maturity, even though he's young.
Right.
So it's really cool to see that. Well, what do you think about the 450 class?
450 was...
Well, 2 things that I want to bring up before we talk about the good stuff.
Yeah.
Your guy, Adam Cincerillo.
Oh, man. So bummed, but now I don't have to hear it from all my buddies that are like I have buddies that are like, how can you support him? I'm like, you don't understand. I don't say he's going to win every weekend. I just support the guy because he's awesome. He's a good human. He's a good human being. He's a great personality for for Supercross, for the sport. It's a bummer that he got hurt, but it's funny because, here he goes again. I'm like, dude, he's the rookie.
Yeah.
So with that said,
he looks like a baby compared to everybody else. Like, he still does,
but rides so well. And anyway, what I'm getting at is now I can support anybody.
He let you be free.
Yeah.
Well, so for the people that didn't watch Supercross this past weekend, Adam Cincerillo, spoiler alert, he crashed and broke his collarbone. And he crashed in a section where Cooper Webb also had an incident too. And
could have been real bad.
I was looking at some of the post-race press conference, and Ken Rocks and Eli Tomac both mentioned that it was a Dragon's Back section off, like the top of the Dragon's Back onto a single before a triple.
Yep.
So
you had to hit it right.
Well, you had to hit it right, but the one thing that they said that was bad was you always want the last bump to be taller than the first bumps.
Right.
And unfortunately, this one was littler, so you could skip over that and miss it. And they missed their front wheel.
Almost. Yep.
And the back wheel came and drooped down and hit it.
Yep.
And it made the bike endo and go towards the face of a triple.
Yeah,
Cooper Webb actually missed it, but it was a little bit bad. But I think the track crew is going to take note of that pretty quick.
I would bet you're right.
Because it took out 2 of the best dudes in the field. That's not going to be something that Feld's going to be stoked on.
Definitely, and I'm glad they weren't worse than they were, because Webb's looked like it could have been really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's good to see that he sounds like he's going to be all right.
I would like if I landed on my butt like that, I would have just like when you're roller skating and you flip over backwards, you land on your tailbone, it hurts like a son of a gun.
Bad.
Oh man, so his looked really painful. I didn't see Cincerillo's. Oh, excuse me, I only heard about it, but yeah, it was bad, man. So, what do you think of the racing though?
So, we'll go to man. I've been such a Tomac hater for so long because probably for the same reason that people were down on Adam for so long, because like he was the next hyped guy. Like I don't know that anybody trains harder than Tomac does, but it's so frustrating that it's taken this long to finally like put his head together. Like it's been so good for so many times and then he just blows it and you're like, dude, just get fifth.
Yeah.
Instead of wadding yourself up trying to go 110 when you're.
But there's always been guys like that, though.
There
are. Damon Bradshaw compared to Jeff Stanton. That's the same analogy.
Absolutely. So the frustration is he should have so many championships by now. But it's finally that we're going to see a season, I think, that he's like, you know what? We're just going to take it easy and come on strong halfway through-ish. And he has. Like, I don't know that.
He did do very well.
It was like domination.
Roczen did really well, too. It's good to see those guys. Cooper Webb was hauling butt.
They all were for sure. But finally saw Tomac for what Tomac could do, I think.
I think Anderson made a good, and Steve could chime in on this again, but, I think Anderson really is coming out of his shell again this year, too.
Yep.
He, when I was watching him, it looked like almost the same thing as R.J. Hampshire, and I'm sure everybody has their opinion, but to me it looked like he was a little timid when he got out front because he hadn't done it in a little while. Yes, and then all of a sudden he's like, at the end of the race, he's like, oh, I did it again.
Yeah.
I'm ready now.
Yeah, totally. I think there's a lot of, on both sides, Tomac's almost always going full bore in the beginning, and it almost seems like these guys were like, crap, I need to kind of get my feet wet to get that confidence back. And I was happy to see, absolutely, Jason's an awesome guy too. You know what's really cool is I could tell he was we'll just say back, quote unquote back, because he looked fantastic in that last main and his jersey was untucked. So
you just like him because the jersey's untucked.
That's what I always.
Because your jersey was always untucked when you rode, man.
Yeah, you couldn't keep it up when you don't have.
So maybe Anderson's your new guy.
Well, he has been. He has been the guy, except he was a little disappointing last year. But just to your point,
you got to build up, man.
Yep, agreed.
You got to give those guys a little bit of a chance. Everybody is so hard on these guys, man.
Yeah,
it goes back to all of these guys are working their freaking tail off, man. The amount of work that these guys put in is phenomenal. And I want to talk to Steve about this a little bit too, because they need those teams to be able to support them. They need the crew chief to be behind him. They need the mechanics to be behind him, and 100%, because they're putting in so much effort, man. It's just
and it's not like old school to where the guys came in and they were it was all talent.
Right.
Like these guys are for sure talent, but they're putting so much work in now that I think when and if there's a mechanical, it's not acceptable.
Exactly.
Because they've put in so much work as the athlete.
Yeah.
So
not just a year, not just a couple months. We're talking lifetime.
Exactly. And it's so gnarly how hard they're going at it. So I would bet there's a pretty fair amount of pressure on a guy like Steve and his guys to make the bike ready to go perfect every time.
I bet you they love that pressure, though. All right, well, let's take a commercial break, and we'll talk to Steve then.
Sounds good.
All right, we will be right back. Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I'm trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hop lock, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's
the
like a first
truck.
aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, Chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Woo!
Sweet.
Man, what'd you think of that Solderweld commercial we did?
That's pretty awesome.
I thought it was kind of funny. We were just like, oh, hey, let's do it in the studio.
It was actually, it's perfect. And it goes to just all the little, we just keep dropping those hints about how cool that little kit is.
Dude, it's rad.
And now you get to
I
see
need
it.
Lance to send one over one of those welding blankets. All right.
Yeah.
Steve Westfall, what's up, bud?
So pumped.
How we doing, guys?
Dude, we are stoked to have you. Big time.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, so you're nice and baby face, and I'm older looking.
Well, no, if I didn't shave, I'd look just like you, Casey,
All
actually.
right. Good.
It's all the guys that I've had to deal with over the years that makes this thing grow in nice and gray.
I'll bet.
That's awesome, man.
Those will be some of our questions. I know it.
Well, one of the first questions that I wanted to ask him was, we should play some of these pictures real quick.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I was supposed to remind you.
So Steve is, yeah, good job, bro. Is that gray hair making you lose your memory too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
Yeah,
so
gone too.
Steve, we're gonna play a couple of pictures that you sent over, just to kind of give our audience a little bit of an understanding who you actually are. So currently you are the crew chief for the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna racing team, and you've had plenty of experience in the past. You've been a mechanic for Davi Millsaps. You've been obviously around the industry for a very long time. So we're going to play some pictures real quick so people can get an idea. The first picture that we have for the people listening on iTunes, we're displaying a picture of him with a big old trophy, a Davi Millsaps bike. Obviously, you're got some championships with Osborne and Anderson. You got your son there. You got your whole family. It is really, really cool to see the family atmosphere that you bring to it. You're a helpful person. You obviously picked up Anderson and carried him off the track.
I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Some really, really cool photos, man. So you have done some pretty awesome stuff in the industry. The first question that I always have for everybody is, where did you grow up and how did you even get into motocross, man?
Grew up in Waterloo, New York, upstate, in between Rochester and Syracuse. Small little town. Everybody knew everybody, and everybody had fun with everybody, if you know what I mean. My uncle actually built me a mini bike back when I was a little kid, and then it kind of snowballed from there. And I started racing, and I knew I was never going to make it because just timing, age, all that stuff. And my first rider that I worked for, as I was still riding, was a buddy of mine from New York, Charles Ellis. And I used to go down to Davi's house. I've known Davi probably 20 years now. And I used to go down to Davi's house for a couple of weeks
down in Georgia
before our season was time to start. And then I got to know Davi. And next thing I know, my buddy Charles called and said, "Hey, you ever think about being a mechanic?" And I'm like, "Man, no way." And he's like, "They got a spot open down here. They need help, blah, blah, blah. They'll pay X a week, whatever." And I talked to my best friend Dave about it. And he's like, "Dude, you only live once." And here I am today.
Dude,
so
awesome.
I love hearing that story. That's like
15
literally
years later.
That's literally the exact reason we started the Dirt Life show. Like, it's only been we started in August, so a little over 6 months, I guess. And we started for that exact same reason. Like, we grew up in a small town, you know, Casey and I both, and grew up together racing, riding, doing all that same fun stuff that you guys did in New York. And it really actually teaches you a lot. Casey and I both have said the same thing since we've been little kids, man. We've learned everything that we know from racing, riding, being around people, mechanics, everything. Just like you said.
Yeah.
Same exact story.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's evolved to where I am today, honestly. Never would have probably thought it in a million years, you know? So I'm thankful for the opportunity that I got back then and to where I am today. You know, I mean, it's crazy to think about it, honestly.
When you look back at stuff like that, is there like moments, like obviously you just said that one moment that, you know, he's like, you only live once, and then you're like, okay, screw it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, there's a lot of those moments actually with a lot of things like that. But I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly. I mean, this is how I met my wife, was through this as well. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, it's been fun, you know? I mean, yeah, I'm 2,500 miles away from, you know, my close friends and stuff like that. But still, I mean, I still see them. They come to the races, or, you know, when I fly home, you know, because we have Unadilla, or we go to New York City or Boston or whatnot, a lot of them will travel over and visit. And actually, I got a few friends coming to Daytona for Bike Week and stuff. So, I mean, it's you still see everybody. It's crazy.
That is one cool thing about motocross is I guess, traveling circus, if you will. You get to see everybody in all these different areas. And I know that it's probably, even with all the years that you've been working, you probably even see people in certain states that you would have never even traveled to had you not gotten into the position that you have.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've met a lot of really awesome people along the way. And it's kind of been, I mean, it's been a blessing, honestly. I mean, I have no complaints, honestly. Sometimes my day can be a little stressful and then it goes south fast, but I try not to let it bother me. But unfortunately, I wear my emotions on my sleeve a lot. So.
And you have the weight of the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team on your shoulders. I mean, that's a pretty big, weight to bear, and you're at all these places. So, well, kudos to you, first of all, for having that type of mentality to be able to handle all that stuff with without throwing shit.
I can't say I haven't thrown anything. I will. There's been some instances where I have done that, but for the most part, I think the older I've got, the little bit mellower I've gotten. Not as bad. My New York attitude doesn't come out as bad as people call it. So
but that
is what it is.
That
I am
passion.
who I am. I can't change me.
Right, and that passion is also what's gotten people to trust you to go to those next steps. I'm sure of it.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
So it is what it is. We embrace it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as far as I know, everybody trusts me. Riders wise, I'm sure 99.9% positive.
So you're living in California now, then?
And even old riders still this day still call me and talk to me all the time. So I mean, I must have had an impact at some point in life, which is I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been in the industry for quite a long time, right?
Yeah, since 2008, is when I started on a pro team, and I've been. Bobby Hewitt, the owner of the team, is where I originally started, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, so, there you go. So that definitely means, like what Casey said, for sure, you definitely have the respect of a lot of the people in the industry.
So just a quick little note, the same Bobby Hewitt that you cut out of the picture.
Yes, him. Yeah.
That's my fault, though. I had to crop it. I was like, I really got to get a good, and I was like, oh, Steve looks great right here. Like I cropped it good, and then he chimes in. I'm like, dang it, I did it wrong.
It was funny.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, Bobby gets it. He always gets the short end of the stick a lot. He
Sorry,
gets
Bobby.
He always says he's never in the TP. He's always on the outside. As long as he knows what's going on, he's okay.
That's good.
Right on. Well, he's an awesome dude, and we know from the way that the team is run, the way that you guys do business, that he definitely is a rad guy. So, well, you live in California now, right?
Yeah. Love it and hate it. Let's put it like that.
I feel you, man. Well, I live back in Arizona now, but I lived in California for a good duration of my adult life, and I lived down in Carlsbad, so I was real close to you guys.
Yeah, you understand exactly where I hate it.
Yeah,
then.
Exactly. I wouldn't even get on the freeway going to work. I'd like take a 20-minute loop just to go like on no traffic down the beach, wherever, just so I didn't have to worry about it.
I literally am 13 miles from work, and it'll take me 30 to 45 minutes.
Can you imagine, Case?
Sorry.
Ouch. And here we are mad because it takes 30 minutes to get all the way across our whole city.
Yeah, exactly.
Or an hour, whatever it is.
I wish I had that problem.
Yep.
Well, so when you grew up, you obviously in New York, but from a young age, like when did you start riding?
I think I was 9 or 10.
So you got said late start as far as motocross goes, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a late start at it. I just rode for fun. I really never started racing until I was 16, I think it was.
Gotcha.
Basically, I had a driver's license. And I started from there, and I was expert by 20, I think. So, because they have back home beginner, novice, intermediate, expert. So by the time I was 20, I was expert.
Yeah, so you had to supercharge your career, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't set the world on fire by any means, but I enjoyed it. I had a blast, and then the more that I rode, I started getting injuries. I got my shoulder was a problem, and the last time it happened was racing arena cross, actually. Hold on, let me ignore that. Racing arena cross, and it came out and it wouldn't go back in, and then the road to recovery was 4 months, and then it just snowballed from there. And I'm like, I still rode, but then that's pretty much when I got the phone call and turned into a mechanic.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. I mean, like you're still doing stuff that you love, and you're still in the industry that you love. It's pretty cool to see that. I mean, I think for all three of us on this conversation here, like we all none of us ever set the world on fire. We did good, and we are proud of the things that we did. But all of us took different paths and consider ourselves successful in what we do, and we're all stoked, man, for sure.
Yeah.
So
it was a long road, before you could, for me anyways, to, race and whatnot. And it is what it is. I mean, still wouldn't change it. My neighbors, when I was a kid, had a track in the backyard, in the woods, and two of my neighbors actually raced.
dude, I love
and one of the others,
Sounds like us.
yeah, and then one of my other neighbors, he no longer lived there, he moved away, but he was big into like GNCC stuff.
Oh, cool.
So, and he had a little loop out there, and it was where I lived. I mean, it was just trees, hills, and trees.
So all the
no building.
I think all the motocross guys, they always say the same thing, like, "Oh, screw off-road. Like, we don't like off-road." Did you like the GNCC stuff? The reason I ask is because, like, I got a dual sport this past year, and like, I enjoy the crap out of it. I think it's so fun.
I'm sure it's a blast.
I never raced it. Honestly, it was always motocross or like those arena crosses and whatnot. But honestly, we had like a little loops and stuff that I would ride on. And it actually, for me, it helped with technique a little bit for myself back then, we rode to train, right?
Yeah,
like that was how we trained back then. We didn't road bike. We didn't go to the gym. We weren't on this gnarly program. You ate and drank, and, you go out and get wasted probably the night before and still show up at the track the next day and still try to burn a moto,
Yeah.
That's how it was back then. It's changed. Times have changed, but,
So funny. We were just talking about that.
Yep. Well, Casey still parties hard when he races bicycle. He took a beer from from one of the guys because he lost a water bottle on a 80-mile bicycle race, and he's just like, "All right, I'll hydrate with the guy."
I'll take a beer. That's all I get.
You probably burned it all off before you even got back.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
I just thought that was an awesome story, man. Well, yeah, I totally agree with you, and it's hard now for these guys. We were talking about it a little bit earlier too. Like, I kind of feel like Chase Sexton is the new Ryan Dungey in my opinion, just because of his demeanor and the way that he acts and the way that he rides and stuff. And personally, I like a lot of the guys on your team more. I like the personality. I like the flair. I like the go-get-'em attitude. I'm a Damon Bradshaw fan from back in the day, and I still love Doug Henry. My number on motocross was 19 because of him. I still carry that number because he's one of the, knockdown, drag-out guys. So I really, really like the demeanor of the team that you guys have.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody, we got so many, like, the personalities on our team, nobody has a clue.
I can imagine.
There's not, like, you have to play, you have to, like, I got to take this hat off. Okay, now I got my Zach hat on. Now I got,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I take this hat off. Now I got my Jason hat on. Like, everybody's personality is so different, and to understand everybody and be able to relate to them is the biggest thing that you can do to help, in my mind. And that's how I operate, is to make them succeed at what they do.
Yeah.
So,
that's a really good crew chief right there. So
and we were just talking about it, Steve, so obviously you got to do that with the riders. And I think people don't understand how important that is. Like, you're like life coaching them, right? I don't know if everybody realizes that, but then at the same time, you've got those mechanics that have to do and be that guy for their guy, and then you have to be the guy for all those guys. So there's probably more than just those many hats. It's probably times 2, because you have all the, the supporting guys as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, our team we have 13 people on our team, not including the riders, but each mechanic or each rider still has a practice guy on top of that.
Oh, wow.
So now you add another 6, 7, 8 guys to that, because we have 9 riders. And it's just, I mean,
yeah, so you're 20,
there's a lot.
People
Let's
deep.
put it like that. It's like today was amateur day for me. I worked on amateur bikes all day today. So
nice.
Because all the guys are traveling back and whatnot. And that's when honestly is, no offense to my guys or anybody, but that's when I get most of my work done, is because I'm not running around, answering, a million questions and whatnot. And, no question is never a wrong question.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and look, I have a great group of guys, honestly, between the practice guys, the suspension guys, the motor guys, the mechanics, the coordinators, the truck drivers, everybody that's on my team. And again, they're all different personalities, and, we're on the road 200 days a year. We have to get along. I think I spend more time with them actually than I do with my own wife, like it's just part of the job. But I mean, I wouldn't trade any one of my guys for nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
I love that, man.
Yep.
And crew chiefs always have to. Well, speaking of questions, we should have see if we can get some questions. So anybody that's listening in the audience, feel free to reach out in the comments section, ask Steve some questions. If one of the guys, Casey or Steve, if you guys have any questions coming on your watch party, feel free to interrupt me or answer any of the questions for your guys' audience as well. We would love to keep sharing with all of the people watching. One of the things that I was going to mention too, and I can't relate to having 20, 25 guys on the team, but Steve, we raced professional side-by-side racing, and I had to have a crew chief as well. My crew chief's name was Brian Lopez, and so he managed everything too, and he took on that role because he's very good at delegating. He's very good at understanding people. He's a very outgoing character, and he put me in my place many, many times. I'm the cool guy. I'm the racer. I'm the badass. I'm the guy that gets it done, right? Like, right. And he's like, no, dude, F you. Like, you're here working for me right now. Like, you have to do this. Like, It's time to go. Like, you have to do this. You have to do that. And it really, really made a huge impact on our racing team when he stepped into that position, because there was so many positive things that came from that organization, the structure, and the people around understanding that he was in charge. It made a huge difference. So I appreciate everything that you're doing for those guys, for sure.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
So I got a quick question.
There's a lot that goes on.
Quick question, and it wasn't for Steve, unfortunately, but it was, are these Evil Knievel socks? And yes, they are Evil Knievel socks. So we can move forward.
Sweet.
So, Steve, let's go back to the shoulder thing real quick, if we could. So, I think we all had similar things. Like I raced, I turned pro with no ACL and rode that way for, 3 years till there was finally that spot, right? You were probably the same way. You were like, well, if I can just get to here, I can then, rehab or whatever. Talk about how that's like toughened you up to keep, to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure, because it definitely has for me, like, oh, it's no big deal. You just got to keep going. I don't have an ACL, whatever. We'll figure it out. Same idea with the shoulder, I'm sure.
For me, I had problems with it. I separated it once, and then it, went back or whatever, no problems. And then I separated it again. And then, the doctor's like, oh, it's fine. It'll go back. And then I could hit a jump just wrong, even with a shoulder brace on, and it would pop out. And I remember I could be in the middle of a race and it would pop out. And then I'd just be holding my right arm down, which is your gas hand.
Right.
And just waiting for it. And then it would just suck itself back in. And then over time, they ended up finding out that, like where your socket is here, and then this part of my bone had broke off and it had wedged in there. So what had happened is when I would just get a jolt, it would just slide right on by it. And so they had to screw it up and put pins in it. But my pain tolerance is high. To go back to the question. So I just dealt with it as long as I could. And finally enough was enough, honestly. I think I dealt with it for almost 3 years. Honestly.
Yeah, but don't you feel like so the parallel here is that I think is a similar situation. That was exactly the same for me. I feel like now you're a little bit more toughened up to maybe it's just mentally is what I'm saying. So maybe you guys, the backs your back's in the corner for whatever the reason. Your riders need this or that or the other, and you're just like perseverance because you're like, it's no big deal. I've dealt with this for I feel like those kind of things are what prepare you for like exactly what you're doing.
Yeah,
right now.
well, there's a correlation because
Yeah.
now it's like when you get a normal job and you're the janitor and you work your way up and you're actually the CEO of whatever company, a software company or whatever it is.
Right.
He did the same thing. He started at the bottom and now he's
Yep.
towards the top of the organization.
Yep.
And he knows everything that goes up the chain.
Right.
And he, like you said, the correlation here is he knows if a rider gets hurt, he understands what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of different reasons
Yeah.
why that matters, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, it did help me a lot being able to go work through it and just deal with, everyday life, kind of. There's always problems every day.
Right.
Right.
It's not the perfect
And you
situation.
have
You just
to-
keep going. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Does that relate or trickle down to the kids and the family and stuff too?
Probably. Yeah. I'm harder on my older one for whatever reason. That's what my wife tells me too.
Because he's the oldest.
I think he's the oldest, and he was the first grandbaby for everybody and the whole deal. And he's a little on the soft side. I love him to death. He's a great kid, And but sometimes when he skins himself, I'm like, "Get up, come on, you'll be all right," And then the little one, he'll just face plant and eat crap and hops up like no big deal. So it's I don't know. It's hard. I mean, you have kids. I mean, I mean, it's
They can be so different. It's crazy.
hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
polar
I get
opposites.
it. Yeah, absolutely. Totally get it.
Well, I think there's a lot of value in that. The reason I said that does it trickle down is because the dirt life literally has that effect. You know what I mean? Like it shows you things that you may not see if you
Right.
didn't grow up, like if you just grew up as a city kid or, maybe it does toughen you up or whatever the case. So I personally think it's fantastic that you have that mentality, that you were shown that you deal with people at work with that same mentality, your understanding of it, and you're caring. And obviously the same with your family too. What was the next question, Case?
Let's see here.
Yeah, you've worked with some pretty big names over the years.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to roll with that? Sorry.
Yeah, let's do that. So,
for it.
who are some of the people that you've worked with that people might not know about? Obviously, Davey.
Davey, Davey number one, would probably be the biggest name that everybody knows. I've known him for 20 years. We're really good friends. We still talk all the time. He's probably going to be mad if he's watching, but sorry, I'll call you back tomorrow, asshole.
So people that don't know who we're talking about Davi Millsaps. Didn't he move up to Havasu too? So he's Arizona boy now?
Yeah, he lives out in Havasu. He's got a house out there, and he's living the life.
Awesome.
As I call him, he's a big deal. So
he is a big deal. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's got his boat and his razor and all the other stuff he's got out there. But that's probably what honestly kickstarted to me where I am today. And I could be wrong. Some people may correct it or not, but we wanted to have a 450 program, and I can remember it like it was yesterday, not to ramble on a little bit, but I was actually going to go work. I was trying to get a job at Showa. It was kind of working in that way for suspension. And then Bobby and Dave Gallen, my old team manager, were trying to bring Davey on. And Davey was like, I'll only come if you're here. I said, nope, I'm out. I'm done. I'm going to do suspension. And he's like, nope, you're not. And then I'm like, yes, I am. And then we went back and forth, and I talked to my wife about it, and she's like, you're never going to get an opportunity like this. And I said, I understand, but just mentally prepare yourself that I'm going to be gone way more than I was when I was with a lights guy. And she's like, no, let's just see how it goes.
That's a pretty big decision, man.
Yeah, it
especially with a starting family and stuff like that. So let's backtrack a little bit so that people can understand the timeline here. So you were working with Davi Millsaps at the KTM Rockstar team, right? At the time?
We were on Suzuki's at the time.
Oh, Suzuki's, that's right. And then, so that was just a lights class, I think, wasn't it? Or was it also a 450 class?
Yes. Yeah, we were only a lights class, and then we ended up getting another semi, and just, had to load that, and then bikes and everything. I mean, it was a whole brand new program, and it was a privateer effort. I mean, if it wasn't for Rockstar and, Suzuki gave us bikes at the time. And then, Bobby, paid a lot out of his pocket, to be honest with you, to help get it rolling. And I mean, honestly, I think it helped us get to where we are today, the whole team in general. And, and it was a lot of work. I mean, it was probably, I enjoy what I'm doing now, but as a mechanic, that was probably the funnest year I had, honestly. I mean, we tested, I would get to the track at 9 a.m. and it would be dark by the time I was leaving.
And you still had work to do after you left. Yeah.
Then I had to go back to the shop and get the bike ready for the next day.
Yep.
I mean, there was nights, I wouldn't get home 9, 10, 11 at night, and then I'd be back to the shop at 7 a.m. Obviously, that year was, nobody expected Davey to do anything, honestly.
I was going to say that was that year when Davey was awesome, like right there for the win.
Yeah.
Well, that was the year when he battled Kennard, right?
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't that? Was that
16? Yeah, that's the
17?
13.
13, okay.
13. Yeah, 2013, it was Anaheim 1 is when he passed Kennard through the whoops, and then or we got even with him scrubbed by the triple, and
that's still one of the races that I will always remember, just because I was like, gee, dude, he is just he is doing awesome. So good. And it was like, and I don't mean this as a bad thing for Davey. Like, it was out of nowhere. Like, it was like, holy, yes, like, go.
Yep. Yeah, because he was wasn't he on a Honda? He was on a Honda team or a couple years, and it was just kind of like, he was there. He was decent, but all of a sudden
he was on the Joe Gibbs team, the Yamaha Joe Gibbs.
That's what it was.
He was on that from 11 and 12, and he finished second both years. I mean, obviously, some people got hurt, and then they'll use that as an asterisk or whatever. You know how the industry rolls,
right?
And doesn't matter. The guy finished second in a championship 2 years prior to that. And then we went out and we led the series for 10 rounds until he basically blew his knee out.
How gratifying is that in your position? How gratifying is that? Like, you just stoked?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't change. I didn't change. I didn't change the way I did anything. Didn't change the way my attitude was. Like, nothing. I just rolled as I was. And some people, might see it otherwise, but I don't think I did.
Man,
somebody could probably chime in with the a million people, whoever's watching that knows me well enough. I didn't change. I mean, I'm still the same guy.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I would be like jumping out of my seat, pumped.
Yeah, but at the same time, here you are.
I mean, I was pumped, but you got to be humbling at the same time because the industry is too small. Our industry is so small that everybody knows if you're going to the bathroom or not. Like, basically, that's how it is. And, and you have to be humble, because if you're never humble, then they'll brush you under the rug and you'll move on to the next place, honestly.
And you're probably only as good as your last rider, is my guess.
You're only as good as your last race. So
yeah, of course. Right.
That's how everybody looks at it as, and, but people just, you get it. Casey, you've been around it long enough. You know how it rolls. It's a circle sometimes.
It's so cool though that you put your head down and you guys built this team and you did your thing and it was successful, and to your point, you just stayed solid because you're the support guy. Like, it all really pivots around what you're doing, like more than this, but more than you're saying, and it's that important for you to stay that solid guy. So that's pretty awesome.
So I appreciate it. I try to be me. That's the best thing I can say is I just try to be myself, and some people like it and some people don't care. I'm never going to change. That's how I am. So it is what it is.
You still get people come up to you and be like, "Oh, you're Davey's guy."
I have actually had some people that do still remember me as Davey's guy. It's funny. Like, I'm like, dude, like, that's 7 years ago. I don't know how the hell you remember that. Good for you.
Yeah, right. And so much more since then is the funny part.
Dude, and I can't even relate on the level that he had because he's so much higher level than what I'm talking about. But, like, I even had, like, people message me on Instagram the other day, and they're, like, talking about stuff like, "Oh, I remember this time when you were racing your side-by-side 4 years ago." And I'm like, dude, I don't even remember that race at all.
Right.
They know it like the back of their hand. Like, they remember it so vividly. And I'm like, dang, I wish you could play back your brain on a TV TV screen so I could watch it again. Like,
Right.
so I'm sure that you get all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
You've been together with your wife Brittany for a long time now, huh?
Yeah. Since 2007. Geez, I had to think about it. She's probably watching right now, wanting to slap me when she gets home, but that's all right.
Well, so you
yes.
got another thing relating to Davy. Your wives have the same name, huh?
What's that?
You got another relation to Davy because your wives have the same name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it definitely won't get them confused, I guess.
Right on. How did you guys meet? You said through motocross?
Yeah, so her brother was Jared Brown. He was a fast Suzuki amateur kid coming up through, and I knew everybody but her. And it was Loretta's 2007, and I remember her sisters, Brittany's the oldest. Then it went Jared, and then Samantha text Brittany and said, "I found your future husband," and then it just went from there. And a month later, she flew out, and here we are, almost 13 years later. 2 kids, a house, dog. Actually, the dog was before her, but dog's still kicking.
Nice.
That's pretty right. Jared's works for GoPro now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he works for GoPro and Liette.
Yeah, right on. I just started
Still in the industry.
I just started following him on Instagram, man. He puts out a bunch of content. I remember, didn't he have something to do with Ricky James too for a while? Wasn't he battling with Ricky James? Didn't they come up together or something?
Yeah, that was it's kind of a sore subject, I guess you could say. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't mean to bring that up. I know Ricky because we did.
No, there was something that went on and they were trying to do it, but I mean, look, at the end of the day, you're racing, right?
Yeah.
You know, 2 people come together and something happens. I mean, it is what it is. Nobody's out there to intentionally hurt somebody, right?
No,
Right.
never.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was, some people few people saw one way, everybody else saw it the other. And, it's kind of a messed up situation. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to get hurt.
Yeah,
either.
they get along now.
And I didn't mean to bring that up.
Hang out and go get beers.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to bring it up.
No, you're good.
But what I have the same story. I don't know if you know anything about me, but I was paralyzed, and I've raced the adaptive stuff with Ricky James, X Games and things like that. But when I got hurt, I was following Jimmy Button, and my accident was with him and Tommy Clowers. But it's not like I have any ill will against those guys. So
yeah, I mean we
racing.
all love the sport for a reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're racing. I mean, you're already out there. It's you.
Exactly.
Right.
You choose to do it.
And at some point,
You're not
it
forced
is gonna chew you up and spit you out at some point, right? We all know that, in one way or another.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Well, that's cool. So you did Brittany get to go to some of the what'd you put here? She traveled with you in the early years for some of your career too, huh?
She would come to some of the races. Yeah, she would come to some of the races and hang out. She still comes to at least one a year without the kids. It's hard. The kids don't understand that I'm at work. They think it's fun.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's my job, and this is what helps, provide for the kids to basically go pedal their bicycles 24/7. So, yeah, I mean, she still goes. We still try to do a lot, but the kids have started to want to do more with the bicycle thing and travel more. So that's kind of might put a little damper on a little bit, but that's all right. I mean, that's what happens when you have kids, right?
Do they like the motocross stuff too, or just bicycles?
Yeah, no, they have pit bikes and they ride them. And if they choose to ride for fun, I'm okay with it. If they wanted to race, I'd probably, maybe when they got a little older, I want them to get the fundamentals first before like throwing them to the wolves, I guess you could say. And in my mind, BMX gives you a lot of fundamentals that people don't realize to this day. And it helps teach you technique and, how to manual and soak jumps up and be able to jump. And then when you ride a dirt bike, when you do it, it's like way easier. Like I've even seen it with my kids now when they do get back on the bike or on their dirt bike and they haven't rode it in a while, like their technique is better. They're jumping better. Like they don't know it and they don't realize it, but I can see it. And so,
yeah, I feel like you're training your brain too with a little less risk. You know what I mean? Like they're learning all that other stuff that matters, that racecraft kind of stuff.
Well, and cardio too.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So good move.
yeah, because it's a sprint for one lap,
Right.
So,
Good move.
yeah.
In your current role as Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, what does regular work week look like for you? Because I mean, you're out there like 5, 6, 7 days a week all the time. You like what? How many weeks are you gone a year? 20?
No. I'm usually gone 36.
36. Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah.
36 for me because there's you have 17 Supercrosses, 12 outdoors, Monster Cup, so you're at 30. And then I have to do the amateur races, which Mini-O's, Freestone. I think this year, no, I'm not doing the Spring-a-Ding-Ding or whatever they call it before Freestone now. And then Loretta's.
That's a funny name.
And then and then I've gone to Designations for the past 3 years because I've had at least one guy for that. And then I usually go to Austria once. So
Which is your favorite race? Is it the one that your Brittany goes to, or do you have an actual favorite place to go to?
yeah, we'll go with that one. That's my favorite one.
What's your favorite place to visit? What's your favorite place to visit at least then, like when you guys go, like to travel to? Because like when we raced, I always picked one of my favorite spots. Like I always had like, oh, I really can't wait to go to this town.
Home.
It's hard to say. I mean, honestly, as far like outdoors, like if you ever want to go to a race that's a blast and you get like would have fun at, would be Redbud. If you've never been to Redbud, that you need to go check that out. Honestly, it's 4th of July weekend. I know a lot of people have plans, but that place goes insane.
Yeah, it looks like
It's crazy.
it looks like Coachella for motocross. Like
Yeah,
it looks
does.
so crazy.
Dude, it is gnarly. Some of the things that you see there, you will probably never see anywhere else.
You can't unsee those things.
Yeah, like there's images in your brain that you'll never get rid of.
The RC car racing was never like that, but I always had my favorite RC track to go to was one that just like was one race wonder. It was at Milestone. They had like this cool little 1/10 RC track that had like it was sand. It was like it was like Southwick for RCs. Like it was so, and I was like this total idiot, like just racing around my RC car like a little kid. But Casey and these dudes were like just motoing. I was like, holy crap! Like you could see the roost coming off their trucks, like Lucas Off Road. Like it was badass.
It was when short course was barely getting going.
Dude, it was so
super
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still
That's
do any
funny.
RC stuff?
I haven't in a while. I got the kids a couple cars. They played with them for a little bit, and then they broke them, and then you'd fix them, and then they broke again. And I mean, every now and again, I'll pick one up. I still have it. Surprisingly, you don't forget. It takes you a little bit to get rolling, but the hand-eye coordination with it is pretty good. For like, even if it was a moto guy, I see like, using Christian Craig as an example. Like, I mean, he drives RC cars.
Yep.
That hand-eye coordination is good for like, just your reaction time, basically.
Yep. Agreed.
100%. Yeah.
Totally.
Do you remember what car he had when you saw him at the RC car track?
So when they were first coming around, they were kind of into all of it. Remember how gnarly Scotty was? Like it was like he lived,
Dude,
ate and breathed it. So Scott Atkins is also. Did you guys travel together? Were you on the same team, or how did you?
actually, our shops used to be across from each other.
Okay.
So when we were Cowie and then we switched to Suzuki, when he worked at Star, he was literally our the parking lots joined
For
each
Sykes,
other.
by the way.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah. And we
That's
would
cool.
then we got together and then we just started doing it, and then shit. I mean, we spent more time at Jerryland Ranch than
Sure.
anywhere.
Is that an RC track?
It's like there's this iconic guy in the industry that everybody knows, and he's a support guy.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just a great guy. He's got a custom
Yeah.
pool building company, right? But he's just the guy, and he opened his place up for like this awesome, just built tracks for everybody, and it was
Really?
called, yeah. We always called it Jerry Land's Ranch and Casino.
Dude, why didn't you ever take me there?
It was kind of a
Oh, he had goat. Hey, you'd always have his goats running around.
Oh,
and-
nice.
Remember that? Yep. And then you'd have to go out and push the goat poop to the side so you didn't get it on your tires. And then you just burn as many laps as you wanted all day.
Yep.
That's
pretty cool.
hilarious. Dude, I would have probably loved that
Oh, yeah.
place.
Yeah. So some of those are the joys of California, right? Because everybody's out there.
Yeah.
The industry is basically there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, similar to moto and everything else, I guess.
That is pretty
Yeah, same
cool.
with moto. I mean, if you're not in California, everything's here. Everybody's here. I mean, not everybody, 75%, but still, like, you have to be here.
Right. Unless you're
that's
Sipes,
just-
you can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know, I'm
Sipes
just
on his
kidding.
own program.
Yeah, I'm just
You know
kidding.
what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I'm just kidding.
That hillbilly.
That's awesome. Do you remember what RC car Steve had when you met him or no?
I think they were Nitro in. I'm pretty sure you guys were Nitro in the first time we were around each
Nitro,
other.
Losi's.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were TLR guys also. It was cool.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Horizon Hobby had a relationship with those guys. That's cool.
Yep.
I was always too scared to get the Nitro car. Like, Casey let me drive one of his one time. I was just into the short course trucks. Like, I was like, this is plenty for me.
Right. Yeah, it's so cool. I think it plays to us old moto guys, right? That want to hop into it and hear the engine and stuff. But yeah, you were like, I just want to drive it.
Yeah. I drove it around that one time, and it was too much
Yeah,
work. I was
exactly.
Yep.
I just like the trucks, and that's why I got into like actual short course racing, because I was so into like the little scale trucks, man.
Right.
So it was cool. All right, what's the next one we got on our list here? Oh, well, yeah. So how was 2020 for you guys, man? Like, you guys had, in my opinion, I thought your guys' year went pretty good. What was your opinion?
I mean, it's going decent. Last weekend was great, honestly. Step in the right direction. First time we've had all of our riders in the top 10. So,
Oh wow, that's
which
pretty
is good.
impressive. I didn't put that together. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like all the guys did. Even
Yeah.
Osborne led a little bit
He
of that
did.
last
He did.
last stint or last
Yeah.
moto.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was good for Zach. Definitely a confidence builder for sure. And then, Jason, obviously, he went 3, 2, 5. I think he would have been second overall, but he had, last lap with the whoops were a little sketchy,
When he took out the
I
camera.
guess you could say. What's that?
Yeah, when he took out the camera, I was like, oh, man,
yeah.
bummer. That was a bummer.
Yeah, I know. He almost saved it.
Yep.
And then he was doing actually this gnarly, he would go 3,
And then like
4,
Oh,
but then
yeah.
he would wheel tap 3, and then he would set it down and go. Like, I mean, I'm like, dude,
it was awesome.
yeah, it's impressive. Some of the things he does on that thing, on that bike is pretty impressive to watch, honestly.
He was doing that wheelie thing that was sketching me out too over that. It was like a step up over it. And
yeah.
then
And you wheelie down it like
he
manual
was like
over it.
manualing
Yeah.
over that. That was so sketchy, but he was making it work and he was going fast there too.
Dude, those long legs
Yeah.
helped on so much when he was manualing over that, because that thing was probably
It was
2.5,
big.
3 feet high. Like, it was a
Yeah.
pretty big bump too.
It was pretty gnarly.
It was cool to see that though, because he was one of the only guys that did it. I saw like 2 or 3 other guys do it, but that was about it.
Yeah.
That was pretty badass section right
sure.
there. Yeah, Casey and I were talking about it earlier in the show. It's pretty cool to see that, man. Like, I had texted Casey and I like Friday or something. I was like, dude, or Saturday morning. I was like, man, how sweet would it be if they got some good results or got on top of the box or whatever. And we were like, when Anderson was like that last moto, I was like, oh no, it's sweet. Like, let's get it done.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys were stoked.
No, we were pumped. The RJ rode well,
He
I mean,
did.
from last week, he had 4th. He probably could have been on the box in Tampa. Had a little mishaps there. One thing I hate is when they put whoops before a finish line or a triple, just like the Dragon's back, because the guys are going way too fast. But that's another subject that we could talk about.
Well, yeah. So let me get your opinion on that actually, real quick. So when we were riding, we were in Supercross. We were riding 2-stroke 125s. But so the thing that a lot of people don't know is whenever you go through a whoop section, you enter it in a higher gear or even 2 higher gears than what you would normally. So when you come out of the whoop section, you're trying to be going faster than when you entered it. So what you're
Correct.
talking about is when you have that high a speed or that rate of speed before something like a big jump, it can be pretty dangerous. And we saw that effect twice this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Dragons back there probably, well, I know they were in second, hitting it. And it just, you're carrying that speed and then, off of that. And if you just miss that top one and, and it just kept getting beat down over time, the top lip kept getting beaten down to the point where it was so low that sometimes they'd skip it. And when they would skip it and then the rear wheel would hit it, it would want to pitch the front forward. And then you're like, shit, what's wrong with the suspension? But then obviously the more you watch it and you pay attention that, it's everybody's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you had to be so precise over it. Our other Jalik Swool, he was actually jumping from the bottom in between the two, in between the top and the second one, and then jumping off. Like that was because he was trying to do it the safest way, to get around without having it,
Right.
Something like that happen.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, obviously, that puts you up in the air, maybe not quite as fast, but when they were going into that triple, dude, they had so much speed. The guys were like laying the bike down, scrubbing so hard to get rid of that
slowing
speed.
it down. I know that was crazy.
It was nuts, man. I couldn't believe that. So, we were talking about it earlier. Like, I hate to see that. I mean, like, we've all gotten hurt so many times. It's nice to see if the track guys will take note of it and make adjustments for the next couple rounds. I just love that they didn't have another split section. Like, I have not been happy with the split sections this year. They've just been, like, stupid.
Yeah, they try to change it up a little bit. I don't know why. I think I don't know. They probably get feedback from the fans. I really honestly don't know why they do the split sections. This weekend's track, I was okay with.
Yeah, same here.
Because it gave you a lot of options. You could do a lot of different things. Even though they didn't do it during the race, and you guys probably, a couple guys probably did, but before the whoops, that section, that long rhythm lane there, some guys were going 3, and then from the table onto the next table off, and then 3 into the turn instead of going roll.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
Single over table, and then 4, and then 2, or on off 3, whatever.
Saw Tomac do that a few times.
I never saw it. Did he barely get onto that table then? Because that's pretty far.
It was super far.
Yeah, no, he buttered it every time. Zach did it a couple times in practice, but he was like, it's not going to be the race line. I'm not going to do it.
Dude, how sketchy is that carrying that much speed into the next single, though? Was it gnarly?
Yeah, those guys are going fast. TV does absolutely zero justice. Sorry.
Agreed.
It does zero justice. They're hitting the whoops in 4th gear. Let's just put it to you like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if that tells you how fast they're going, it's probably 50, 45. Probably they're going through there, 45,
Can
47.
you imagine 4th gear on a factory 450 is hauling the mail, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That is like serious. When you went to Phoenix Supercross, what did you think about seeing it in person? Were you just like, oh my gosh, these guys are hauling?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since I've been on the track and raced it myself, so you kind of adjust again, and you're like, wow, that's awesome. For sure. Yeah, I agree with you. No justice whatsoever. How about the first time you walk the Supercross track when you're going to ride it or be involved in it? You're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah,
crazy.
some of these kids don't realize, I'll use Jalik as my, he's our rookie. As an example. He's like my stepson because he's had he's had some rough times. Let's put it to you like that. And, when he comes to California, he stays with us. So he, the first round, he was actually not bad in qualifying, in the heat race, he went down when he was in 3rd in Tampa and then pulled in, and it's hard to change the mentality of amateur racing to pro sometimes, but he definitely, and in the LCQ, he ended up 5th when he passed the guy in the last lap and just didn't get to drive through the whoops, and didn't make it. And that was like, obviously he was upset about it, but it's like you can't dwell on the past, look at the mistakes that you had and move forward. And then you take him this weekend and he qualified 10th, right? He went 10, 12, 9 for 9th overall. The first one he actually raced. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. Pretty impressive.
A lot of people think that it's, oh, he got ninth, or he can't hit whoops. I've seen some of the comments that have come along on his Instagram, and it's like, all the people sit behind the thing and just type away. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Why don't you get out there?
It's terrible that so many people, like, they call themselves a fan or whatever they think they are, but they're just sitting here tearing people down.
Oh, to
like,
take the judgment and criticism.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and don't get me wrong. Like, I can be hard on some of the guys too, but at the same time, I totally respect.
There's still a reality of what they're doing,
and
man.
respect how hard they're all working. I mean, even the last guy is like killing himself to to do the best he possibly can. And you're right. You got the keyboard warrior.
You and I were talking about this a little bit before the show, and it really has nothing to do with like just keyboard warriors or motocross. Like, it's just people in general. Like, we're in different sports. You were in the RC genre. I was in, professional side-by-side racing and things like that. Like, I would even get people hating on me in a four-wheel side-by-side, like not a motocross dude. Like, I'm not that cool, right? And they would be like, oh, well, F you. You got to, you guys support by Rockstar. You got all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, first of all, it takes a shitload of work. Right. I know I'm not cool, but give me a freaking break here. Like, and so I can imagine what these new kids are coming through, like Jalik and what people are saying to those guys, man. It's just crazy. And who knows what? Did you get some of that same stuff in RCs or no?
Yeah, it's anywhere that anybody, especially RC, because anybody can jump. Well, they can jump in and participate.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of them would rather talk about it. Like, there was a thing at Nitro Challenge this weekend, and Mayfield, I don't know if you followed it at all, but Mayfield is so Ryan Mayfield, he's a Mugen driver. He's definitely at the top of the heap for sure, and
he's like one of the Jeremy McGraths of racing,
for sure. And one of these guys from some other country was not giving him whatever. It was bad. It was enough to where he had to say something, and he's on media, and he's like, yeah, this guy needs a throat punch or something. And it's like, whoa, maybe that's crossing the line, but at the same time, he's out there doing it. You know,
exactly.
So I don't know. I think it's anything that people are excelling at. There's always a whole a band of people that want to cut them down because they're not doing it.
That actually brings up a good point. All right, so let's ask the crew chief here. Like, so let's just say Jalik gets some hatred on his Instagram. Does the crew chief say, "Yeah, talk shit back," or do you say, "Hey, whoa, calm down, bud"?
I fired one off earlier today from some kid.
Oh, really?
It just floors me that and this is just my personal opinion. Everybody is so worried. It's everything is negative. When has everybody ever talked about anything positive? I mean, the kid's a Horizon Water winner from Loretta's. Like, do you really think he's that bad?
Right.
And they talk about, and I'll just use the example is, they're talking about like Joey Crown. I'm not taking nothing away from Joey Crown. He's riding well, but he's been doing it for 3 years, folks. Just so you're all clear. He's been trying for 3 years, and now he's just figuring it out. Right. So instead of knocking the kid, or talking crap about him or saying he can't do something, people, I get fired up because he is like my son. Honestly, he's like another one of my kids. It just bothers me. And it's like, you don't know what the kid's been through. And honestly, the mentality that kid has, he will be he's matures very fast and he figures it out, and he's no dummy by any means. And he doesn't comment back to it, but which is probably better off.
Yeah,
honestly. But
what I'm hearing here, and tell me if you agree with this, that's all good crew chief stuff right there. Like, that's a dad sticking up for his kids kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, that is a fantastic crew chief right there.
Right.
Man.
It's the time to be professional, absolutely. But then there's also that time to be scrappy and be like, you don't be messing with my
my
boys.
guys.
Yeah, that's how I am with. I do that with all, like, honestly, with any of my riders, even some of my past riders, I'll use Martin as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Martin comes over every weekend, talks, hangs out. I've known Martin since he moved here from Ecuador, so it's like, and people don't realize that, you know what I'm saying? Like Cooper Webb, I've known Cooper since he was 8 years old when I was actually at Millsaps and he was still there training. Like, he was training there. The kid used to come in and sweep my floors and take my trash out for me.
Sweet.
Awesome. That's cool.
I mean, like, they forget that I'm an older guy and I know all these younger kids that are kind of moving up, I mean, it's frustrating when I see it, I mean, my group of guys, though, for sure, I do stick up for them, like, it's just, how it is.
That's actually a pretty good transition into our next question then. I think, like, first of all, like, I commend you super, like, a lot for that. That is a fantastic way to deal with life in general. And I think sticking up for people is a very, very good trait. Like, we talk about it all the time here on the show and in my personal life, because I have a lot of people that respect some of the things that I've done in my life. And I am a huge advocate of being the person that you are, being a good person to the people that care about you and the people that you care about, and making sure that you're always putting your best foot forward for those people, because the other people aren't going to be around for that long if they're acting like that.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly. And that's how it usually is. You know, the ones that want to talk crap all the time are not the ones that are usually around at the end of the day. They're the ones that are running with their tail between their legs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how did, like, since you're on the road so much and you're obviously defending the people, that you probably have a lot of the same things that you deal with your family, but do you guys get to go out and have fun and still do a lot of things with the kids and the wife and stuff like that?
Yeah, my kids, I mean, they played baseball, they played basketball, they weren't really into it. They pedal their bicycles. Literally, they're at the track now, actually, right now,
Nice.
pedaling away.
Awesome.
You know, my wife took them there, and they love to do it. And you know, the day that they decide they don't want to do it, then that's fine too. You know, like, I'm not gonna force it down their throat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, you have to do this or you have to do that. You know, I mean, there is expectations though with, you know, they are on a, you know, with a team now, so you have to still kind of do it. But I'm not gonna make them do it. You know, eat, breathe, sleep, you know, that's what they have to do, you know.
That's cool though. You can still show them the ropes. You can help them understand what it is to work for people that are supporting you, and obviously that's going to make them have a huge impact on the rest of their life when they get a job and stuff too, or school or college, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we go out, we got a razor, so we'll take them out in the race. Like yesterday, I was like, are we going to the track tonight or nope? And Brittany's like, no, Parker wants you to take him on a razor ride. I'm like, okay, off to the, you know, like, it's a fan, you know, we hop in and we drive over. It's the razor's at my in-laws, so we don't have room in a track home for it. So we just leave from there and we can drive out through the hills and do whatever.
Where do you guys usually go? Like, do you guys travel back in like Anza and stuff like that, or where's the closest places for you guys?
So they live in Nuevo, which is outside, like, it's over by Star West used to be, kind of over that way.
Mm-hmm.
So we go out in the hills over there, and then yesterday we drove to Paris where they do the skydive stuff.
Yeah, sweet.
The bomb shelter, so we drove over there and then back, and yeah, I mean, it's, the kids enjoy it. I enjoy it. The wife enjoys it. She drives it more than I do. I'm never home.
That's the reason. That's the reason. Like, I think like I enjoy the dual sport stuff now. It's because like we just started doing the razor stuff, and then I'm like, oh, you can actually do the same kind of stuff, but you can take a bike out there.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
cool.
I've been wanting to get Casey into, like, I mean, his wife doesn't want him to do motocross or anything anymore, but I kind of wanted to get him like maybe like a KTM, I don't know, 500 EXCF or something like that, so we could go, like, because in Arizona we could ride on the street on anything, but like, so we could go take off and go like out in the woods, go get a hamburger, like, or in the desert get a hamburger, come back. Like, I think he'd have a good time.
Oh, I'm sure, guaranteed.
You probably would. Do you go to the desert bar at all?
No, we're
you
not.
Guys are out there.
We're not that close. So like, we have a bunch of trails like down here in southern Arizona that we can ride. So like, we have tons and tons of places. Like, we could leave from the house and be gone for like all day and never ever hit the same trail.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. So it's nice. So we can, like I said, we can go get a hamburger in the middle of the ride and come back. So it's cool. We're actually going to do a ride across the country, starting in Oregon and go all the way down to South Carolina on the Transamerica Trail in September.
Nice.
So I think that'll be
fun.
Yeah, I think that'll be pretty fun.
So dual sport it is.
Dual sport for us old guys.
Yeah.
So for me, it went age comes a cage, and then screw the cage. I'm gonna go off roading.
Right.
So how
dual sporting?
How old guy is that? Is that like what you're getting into? You went from Supercross to RC cars, and now you're gonna go off road too.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Have you thought about getting an off road bike at all?
No. I mean, I had a KTM 150 probably 2012. My wife bought it for me for Christmas. I rode it a little bit and got knocked out. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. Nothing. I think I've rode maybe twice or three times since. I go fishing. So I got a bass boat and I fish. That's my getaway from like anything to do with two wheels, I guess. Like that's how I try to get my mind away and relax. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
I could actually see that because like he's around it. Like you and I are obviously not around motocross as much as he is. So like I could see that you just want to get away from it. Although I will say those new 300 two-stroke fuel injected bikes look fucking awesome.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah. No, I actually got one for, I call him Uncle Mike. He is my best friend's uncle. He was like, hey man, I really want to try one of these. And so he took it out and he's like, dude, it thing's fun. I love it. And he rode it for a weekend out in Nocatilo, I think it was, or something like that. But yeah. So
did you get to ride it?
No. If I ride one, I ride one. But honestly,
he's going fishing.
I have to. Yeah, I'd rather go fishing. I have to get my brain off. I have my brain. I have to unwind my brain, or it's a bad deal.
Dude,
angry scuba is probably not good.
I don't disagree with that. Like I agree with getting out and doing that stuff, but I want to ride one of those 300.
Oh, that's got to be the coolest ever.
Dude, they just look bitchin'. Well, what's the future plan? Oh, wait, you got another question for him, Case, about the boys?
Oh, yeah, so we kind of touched about it a little bit. I know Ezra and Parker are big into BMX. You guys get to enjoy that as family, obviously, a little bit. Are there plans to get them racing moto? And I think you kind of touched on that.
Let them figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want them to figure it out. They want to. Like Parker did the KTM Junior Challenge last year.
Right.
He had fun. He loved it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't set the world on fire. You know what I mean? Like he didn't ride. He doesn't ride much. And I think if he rode more, he would be probably pretty decent at it. But I really want him to just keep doing that. He does very well at pedaling a bicycle. He can pedal a bicycle. He can pedal it when he struggles a little bit right now doing it. So it's that 1 through 5 gate. You put him in 6, 7, and 8, we're dialed. He's 1 through 5. He got cleaned out a little, like almost a year ago. A pretty bad one by some kid that was being an idiot, basically. Told him he was going to clean him out, and I'm not okay with that. So, it's kind of ruthless sometimes there at the track, but people just don't realize how the kid acted. It came from the parents because my kids don't act like that.
Good point.
Dude, yeah, I can. And plus, his mentality already being like at the top of a professional sport, being like that. So one thing that I always relate that to is everybody gives shit for moto dads, right? But I think moto dads are okay. And the reason I say that is because have you ever seen the movie The Wedding Singer? When he is like down in the dumps, Adam Sandler goes to the like his brother's house or whatever, and the little kids come up to him and go, "Oh yeah, you're like this really loser guy, right?" And he goes, "Wait, where did you hit? Oh wait, I already know. You only talk to your parents, so you obviously learned it from your parents."
Right.
And that's like true with everything. Like every single moto dad is like that. So I can only imagine the things that you see, like especially when your son gets cleaned out, dude.
I wasn't there that night. It's probably a good thing.
I'll bet.
Let's put it. Yeah, it was a really good thing. But yeah, it's like I'm okay with rubbing. You know what I'm saying? Or if they come together on accident, that happens. You are racing, but to tell your kid, tell them you are going to clean them out, and you did. For what? Like if you knew my oldest, like he's a pain in the ass for us. Don't get me wrong, but everybody else he's super good with. And he's very respectful. And if he's not respectful, he will get dealt with when he gets home. That's just how I am. I just don't deal with it. And, he can act the way he does at home. I don't agree with it sometimes. But, like, if you're at somebody else's house or you're out in public, like, you are to act, normal, I guess. Normal for me anyways. You're just respectful. You have to be respectful to people.
Yeah,
because you
and
never know what'll happen.
when you look at things on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm not saying anybody's doing it bad, but you can see those kids going home like, "Oh, you took that dude out! High five, son!" Like, I hate that. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
bad.
cannot stand that, dude. Like, that's not a good way to
Yeah,
be.
no, I'm not. No, it's not a good. I don't agree with it
Yeah.
at all.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Well, what's the future hold for you, man? Like, you're gonna keep doing obviously your stuff in 2020, but what's the next couple years got going for you?
Same. Not going nowhere. Not that I'm aware of, unless I'm getting fired. But don't think that's happening. But
Well, you
stranger things have happened.
You did post without the boss in the picture, so
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get. I'm surprised you didn't get fired for me cutting
he
Bobby
doesn't
out.
have Facebook, so he's not watching.
okay.
His wife probably is though. But yeah, now just keep doing what I'm doing and try to keep getting our guys and helping our guys and just keep going towards the top. I mean, that's obviously the goal at the end of the day. But again, I couldn't do it without my group of guys that's underneath me as well. Like 100%, because if I didn't have them, Bobby, myself, and everybody as we work together, like we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. I mean, personally, I think you're doing a fantastic job. I think that you have plenty of years left in you for doing all this stuff. The way that you're attacking it and the things that you're doing are fantastic. If you ask me, man.
For sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What else you got, Case?
So, Steve, let me throw back here for a second. So this is kind of a testament to Steve's character. So we're buddies, we're racing RC, whatever, and Steve and I chatted, and it was when I was having my second brain surgery, and Steve kind of was, "Hey, that's cool."
Yeah, so it's a little while ago too.
It was a while ago, and I don't know if you remember, but you sent me some stuff, and that was Davi's season. That was that awesome season.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
or it was at the end of it. It was 14, so it was after
right.
it, obviously. And yeah, I actually pulled it off the wall as a remembrance.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, how cool is
I
that?
didn't even know you brought that.
So I was in the hospital and
Can
got
I see
this.
that?
Yeah, and along with some scuba stickers, that was pretty cool, and some other stuff. And
Dude, how cool is that?
it was just it was so
yeah.
awesome. It was so awesome because I'm a huge fan, and Steve was reaching out. He had plenty to do, obviously.
So for the people that are listening to
pretty
it
awesome.
on iTunes that can't see what Scuba gave you a Davi Millsaps front number plate.
Yep.
Obviously signed and everything.
Yep.
This thing is pretty cool, man.
Super stoked.
With the number 18. It's got the cool letters. It's like when graphics started getting all sweet on the number plates and everything. That's sweet, man.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But again, he didn't need to, he's busy. He's a busy guy, and it meant a lot. I was super pumped, and, it made my week for sure.
That's one of the things that we were talking about earlier today is actually that I didn't mean to interrupt you, Steve, but the Casey's dad was just in the hospital, and we were talking about how grateful we are when people are just good people. Like we just talked about the Moto dad, and like having good people around that care about you, that reach out, that do kind things. Like it makes the hugest impact, and you don't really even understand it. And obviously, he made that impact on you when you were down in the brain surgery.
Yeah, absolutely. It made it made a situation that maybe isn't the best just a little bit better, So
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's cool that he did that for you, man.
definitely super stoked.
And plus, you got a freaking Davi Millsaps front number.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped on that. Where did that come from?
that is bitching. Yeah, I still have some old jerseys and stuff too. I got a Jimmy Button jersey. I got some David Pingree pants. I got a Steve Lamson jersey. Like some cool stuff. I see you got a looks like an Osborne jersey back there. You got a Davi Millsaps jersey. So the people that are listening on
Baggett.
Oh, did you bag it too?
I was Baggett's guy in 10 when he won his first race.
Dude,
Awesome.
Sweet, man. Yeah, so the people that are listening on iTunes, Steve's got a pretty cool little room that he's doing this podcast out of when he's on FaceTime. You can see some of the badass jerseys that he's got hanging up back there. Man, that's cool.
So, Steve, before we get too far into the wrap up, which we're getting close, we kind of skipped over it. Without getting too, you don't have to get too deep on it because you work with so many guys and we don't want to offend anybody. But is there back through your career doing this, is there a moment that you're like, that's the moment that I'll never forget? There's got to be so many of them, I would imagine. championships or
There's-
like a first race, like you said, but like, is there something that like, gun to your head, that's the one that comes out? What is it?
Anaheim won 2013.
Yeah, I knew it, dude.
Nice.
I
Yep.
knew it.
That was insane. I totally remember.
Yeah,
The
and San Diego that same year because he won. He led every lap. He had never done that before.
That was
Pulled the whole
impressive.
shot and led every lap.
Totally.
That's awesome.
That's cool. And it came so fast. It's obvious that that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I still have those too.
You'd have to think about
do
it.
you have one?
I don't know. I don't really know.
Do you have one in
That's
RC
as
cars?
Well, for
that's mechanic wise though.
okay.
Like as me being a mechanic, like those would be the and the bag. It obviously that was my first win and his first win. I mean, it couldn't come any more convenient. It was my birthday that day. I mean, everything
Nice.
just like the stars and moon and everything lined up. It was funny how it all worked out. But
for
but
moto.
as far as
Go ahead. Sorry.
probably when for Osborne and Jason to win the championship in the same year,
That was insane.
that's impressive.
Yeah, I think those are two totally different things, though. Like, I think that's a two-part question, actually, because there's, like general moments, like excitement, like general, like what he's talking about with Anaheim. And then there's, like, wow, a championship. Like,
Yeah.
I worked for so long for this.
Right.
Like, this is an overall, like, umbrella thing that's like, yes, we finally did it. Like,
Right.
those are complete two different things. Like, and I hope you can answer this, too. But, like, for me, like, when in my motocross racing career, still one moment that sticks out. Like if you ask me the same question.
Mine finally popped up.
Okay, good. Like I grew up, Steve, with like Sean Hamlin. Like that was my little area. Sean, like I was a little under Nick Way and like Sean Hamlin area. And we were at Glen Helen one time and we were all on 80s and I crashed in the first turn. And by the end of the race, like I was on his rear wheel at the checkered flag. And I will never, ever forget that whole moto. And it's like this little kid on 80 is what I remember of like going through all this professional stuff. Like, so what you're saying with the Anaheim one, it really resonates. And then like for like overall big stuff, like it was, winning at the highest level of short course racing. Like that was a huge deal for me, like at the time, and being able to make UTV and short course racing grow and being on the forefront of that,
Sure,
like
being
those
part of
types
it.
of things are like really gratitude and satisfying at a much higher level, like what Steve's saying about the championships and stuff.
It's funny how the top of that memory, whatever it is, that like you said, and there's something that's always fits in there too. Like Steve was talking about, it was his birthday and he can remember all this stuff. So for me, man, I'm really aging myself here. 96, Anaheim won my first Supercross. I made the night show. Super stoked. Like that's the big picture part that I'm super pumped about. But then the little piece that like,
dude, all of us were pumped for you. Like we were all so stoked.
It was pretty awesome. It's something else. It'll never. The only bummer is my pop wasn't able to be there because he was at home paying the bills so I could go do this. But again, I wouldn't trade. I wish I could have shared it with him, but I wouldn't trade it. But during practice, first time, you know how it goes. And back in the day, lots of privateers used to show up because it wasn't so expensive and, whatever. Get your AMA Pro license, you can go for it. Anyways, when you look around at this level of these hundreds of dudes trying to qualify into that 40 or whatever, they all look like badasses. They all look like pros.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking like one too, but I'm not feeling like I'm looking like it. So I'm just lost in the crowd. And Jimmy Button, big old Jimmy Button, comes walking through the crowd of everybody, and he's beelining straight to me. He's walking through all these guys, and he was just holding McGrath's helmet with the $100 bill on it. You remember that?
Nice.
So like, okay, he's doing his thing, and then he walks straight up to me, and he's like, "What's up, man? How you doing? How do you feel out there?" And I'm like, "We already won practice." And I'm like, I don't know, whatever. And he goes, "Don't worry about those whoops. Just lean back and grab another gear. You're good." And all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be here just like the rest of them are.
Nice.
So I remember that more than the last chance qualifier and sticking the gate and having to pass everybody. Whatever.
That was like your pass to be like
It totally
you made
was. It was almost totally. It was like him saying, hey, you're supposed to be here. So that was super cool. I was pumped on that.
Yeah, that's awesome,
dude. That is really cool, man. Well, we already asked what your plans were for the future. we always ask all of our guests this, and I kind of have a feeling that what your answer is going to be, but what do you want to be remembered for?
Humble. Always
Nice.
being humble. Yeah, I would never tell my guys to do something that I wouldn't do.
Yeah. Again, good crew chief, man. That's a super good crew chief right there.
It is. Absolutely.
That actually just not even just a crew chief, just to speak to the person that Steve actually is, like that's going to be a good dad. His kids are going to remember that.
Yep.
Like his wife's going to remember that. Like everybody's going to remember that.
Well, these are leadership qualities and
Absolutely.
not management skills. So that's a huge difference. You know what I mean? People want to get behind a leader.
Yeah.
They don't always respect a manager, but they respect a leader. So for you don't even have to say it. People already know it. That's why they're following you and they're respecting you as that leader.
That's such a good thing to say. Will you say that again? People don't want to get what?
They don't necessarily want to follow a manager, but they want to follow a leader.
That's such a good thing to say.
So, I mean, you just people gravitate towards a leader. Let me put it that way. They don't necessarily respect the manager, but they follow a leader. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we did a couple posts on you already on our social media, and if people want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Scuba821 is my Instagram and Twitter account, and then Facebook. Crap, I don't know my name.
Well, so let me ask you this question. This actually bugs the shit out of me. It's like I don't think anybody uses Twitter. Like I can't stand Twitter. Like
Except for the president.
Yeah. Do you guys use Twitter?
Yeah. No. I got a Twitter. I follow it because I like to see what Donald's going to say. It's never, you never know.
There we go again with the whole Trump's deal, right?
Perfect.
And I mean, hey, the problem here. Look at a lot of people hate him. A lot of people like him. The guy is just honest, and that's what this world needs these days. There's no honesty. Everybody's too afraid to tell somebody how they really feel.
Dude, I say that every time somebody says that thing. I'm like, I don't know the dude. I'm not partial to whether he's like a good person or not. But he's really like, if a president, like he's like, if he can say that he can kick your ass, like he's a good president because nobody's going to fuck with him. Like, right. So I think that's good. And he's, like Steve said, he's honest. Like, I don't know whether I can say that I like him or not because I don't know the dude, but I still think that he's doing a good job because he's honest, like Steve said.
No filter.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's zero filter.
And did you see that Haley Deegan got her helmet signed by Trump?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't follow her on social media, so but somebody showed me it, and I was like,
yeah, I don't follow her either, but like you got to give Brian a lot of credit. I don't care if he threw his bike across the Los Angeles Coliseum's finish line. The dude does a badass job at social media for his kids. Right. He really does.
Oh yeah. No, he is good at social media. I mean, he's marketed the crap out of them. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And we're not going to be able to get our helmets signed by Donald Trump, so kudos to him and her.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty badass. All right, so we do rapid fire Q&A. We haven't sent you any of these questions. We are just going to surprise you with some questions. You want to go first, Case?
Sure.
Go for it, man.
Roxon or Tomac?
Roxon.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Nice. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Favorite soda?
Say that again?
Favorite soda?
Pepsi.
Nice. Finally got one to not say, well, the one that sponsors our team or whatever.
Yeah. So usually when we ask that question, they're like, I don't drink soda, Rockstar.
Yeah. I love it.
Actually, Pepsi's part of Rockstar.
Okay, so it works. Boom. So, we kind of covered this one. Most memorable race.
Well, okay, answer this question. Your most memorable dirt bike race.
There you go.
For you.
Probably Frozen Ocean 2002.
Where was that? Where's Frozen Ocean? That sounds like a cool track.
New York.
Of course it is.
It's in New York.
Frozen Ocean.
They used to have this little night track thing there or whatever.
What was so memorable about that race then?
I hole shotted all 4 motos in one. So that was probably the first time I had actually hole shotted all 4 and won all 4.
So it was a clean sweep of what class?
That would have been plus 25 expert, maybe.
Sweet, man. Were you riding a 250?
125, actually.
Nice.
Scuba the Dominator on
Dude.
on the clutch. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Cleaning house, dude, on the two smoker. That's bitching. All right. So, favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
M&M's or Skittles?
M&M's.
Dogs or cats?
Dog.
Burrito or taco?
Neither.
What? Well, I guess he's from out there.
Well, he's about the pizza, so he's probably
That's
like
right.
he's
He's
probably
in
thinking
New
in his
York.
mind like New York
I don't blame
pizza.
him.
Like
I'm
I'll
not a
fold
Mexican food guy.
I don't blame him.
My wife, my kids and my wife could eat it 24/7. I would rather eat a bowl of cereal for dinner than have Mexican food.
Dude, so he's probably going to be our last question on this rapid fire.
I was just going to say.
He's probably going to be the second dude that answers the opposite way.
And this very next one, I think, is going to be pretty entertaining.
Okay. Is it my turn? Yeah. So if you were a character in the movie The Hangover, which character would you be?
Alan.
You going with Alan?
I actually dressed up like Alan.
Did you really?
For Halloween. Oh, yeah.
And
then I put my son... Yes, I was at Kevin Gahan's house.
Oh, nice.
Did you wear the satchel too?
Yeah, I had the whole suit. I put baby Carlos in the front of me and everything.
Oh, boy. I love it. That
actually was my son in the beginning until he got too heavy and I couldn't do it anymore. He was probably 3 or 4 months old at the time.
Dude, that is so awesome.
You're always going to have fun with Scuba Steve, that's for sure.
I never expected that answer at all. Will you see if you could drum up those pictures and maybe post a picture on social media?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find them and send them to you.
We would love to share those things. That would be so cool. All right, the last question.
Last one, and this will be the second person ever to say this. I'm
all
sure
right.
of it. All right, you ready? Chips and guac or fries and ketchup?
Can I do fries and ranch?
You can.
You can.
We'll let it pass. We'll let it slide.
But we were right. We knew you weren't going with the guac. We knew it.
All right. So
no guac.
So you know how we were talking about getting people judging and getting hatred on social media? I think Steve's going to get a whole shitload of hatred for not choosing chips and guac
for ketchup, for fries.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait to see the comments that I have rolling at some point.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for being different.
So we better say hey to Hollywood. I don't know if he's going to watch.
Is he on?
Probably not.
Where is he?
But I don't know. But if we don't, he's going to.
Uncle Wood.
Yeah, Uncle Wood. He's going to get all upset.
Yeah, that's
he will be. Hi, Hollywood. I'm waving to you. Remember all those times you yelled at me for not waving on the camera?
That's actually something we should start on the show is like, who does our guest want to throw a shout out to? Like mom and dad and like do like our podium interview. Like, okay, Steve, so how was the show? Like, how did you think you did
That's
tonight?
a good idea.
And we'll do like your podium interview. So who would you like to thank, Steve?
My wife for dealing with my shit every day and being gone.
Yeah. That's actually a really good one.
Winner.
Yep. Dude, top step of the podium. Steve killed it tonight. I think he did fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, dude. Obviously.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously, you are a very, very busy guy, and we respect your time. We respect that you came on and just talked shit on this little janky radio show that we have. It was really, really cool to first of all, meet you, not in person, but at least on FaceTime. Thank you very much, Casey, for scheduling Steve and getting him on the show, dude. I think it was bitching that he accepted and talked with us.
Heck yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, and keep doing a good job, man. You guys did fantastic this weekend. All of your hard work, all of the team's hard work, all your guys' hard work, the guys on the ground, the guys at the shop, the guys that are helping all the riders, man. You guys are just a team to be reckoned with, and we really, really love seeing it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Again, if it wasn't for everybody else helping, there's a lot of behind the scenes people that you have the mechanics, the motor guy, the suspension guy, the truck drivers. A lot of people don't realize how much time and effort they put in as well. So it's a group effort.
That's what a leader says.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to keep holding on to that.
Yeah. That
Way to go.
Those leadership qualities will not go unseen in this interview. That's for dang sure, man. Well, good luck this weekend. Where are you guys headed to this weekend?
Atlanta, and then I go to Florida for a week to do a little testing for Daytona with the guys, and then the mechanics will come and suspension guys, and then Daytona. Then I hang out for amateur day for 2 days, and then fly back on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, so you're gone for a little while. So Brittany and the kids are going to miss you
10
for a little
days.
bit.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so
She's thrilled.
how about I give you some homework, Steve, for the Dirt Life show? It's easy.
Uh-oh.
What if you could take a picture of the coolest thing that you can show in the hauler next weekend
Yeah,
and tag us with it?
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's probably, as long as it's not like
Yeah.
somebody's old, used tennis shoes. Maybe that is the coolest thing.
Somebody's used
Now,
socks.
I mean, I can send you pictures. I can send whatever, not a big deal. No problem.
That would be super cool. I would thought Casey was going to say something else, but that would be really, really cool, man. I think that would be cool to have like some of these other guests. Like it would have been cool to ask Ryan Sipes to do something like that too, because especially in his garage.
I bet he would have.
Yeah, like that would have been super cool.
Definitely. As a follow-up. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. We got to get some of these other guests to do that too. And like we did a behind the scenes with our buddy Josh Shorter. He's well, you might know who he is. He's the brand manager for Thor Motorsport, for Thor Motocross.
Yeah.
And we did a whole behind the scenes interview with him and went to the shop and checked it out and stuff. That was super cool, man. It was neat to see all the Thorsten Hallman stuff. Like I didn't even know they made Supermoto gear and like all that badass stuff, man. I know none of your guys use Thor products, but just seeing that heritage and like the way that Casey was talking, like all the stuff that he's seen in the past, all the RC car stuff, like the history of all the stuff that you've seen with your own eyes and that you get to see every weekend, we would love to share that with our audience.
Yeah, no, I can. I mean, if the video is easier, I can video the whole inside of it. No big deal.
Well, Casey's the one giving you the homework assignment. We'll let the teacher decide.
It sure sounds awesome to me.
All right, perfect. I'll send it to you Saturday.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Dude,
Can't wait.
You're a badass, Steve. All of the support that you've given the show and everything that you've done for us is amazing, dude. We really, really appreciate your time.
No, thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll let you get back to doing all your work and have a successful weekend coming up here. And, say hi to all the guys. Say hi to the family.
Yeah, tell the family we said, hey.
I will.
Thanks for letting us borrow.
Okay,
you.
we'll do.
All right, bud. Thanks so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it.
We really appreciate your time.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Okay, see ya.
Later.
You too.
Man, dude, I'm like excited now. Like I want to
So
go
cool.
like get on two wheels and like just
I know,
go
right?
do stuff. Oh man, that is
I think Steve has that. I mean, I've been around him, obviously, tons of races, and I feel like he has that attitude, rubs off on his whole team. I guarantee it.
the
Like,
positive energy.
oh yeah,
and,
they
like,
just want to. Like I can imagine, it's just a hypothetical situation. They're down in the dumps, something's wrong, blah blah blah, and I feel like they're all just ready to give their 110
Dude.
for him. You know what I mean?
yeah, like when you go into the locker room and you get that pep talk before the big game kind of thing. Like that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that infectious, like hyped up.
Right. Like, is that what he did to Zach between A2 and A3? I wonder, or whatever you want to call it,
Dude, yeah.
Moto 2 and 3. So cool.
He definitely has that infectious personality. So, well, thank you very much, Steve Westfall, for coming on. And man, that would be cool if he does that little homework assignment that you gave him.
I'm sure he
Maybe
will.
we'll have to text him and see if he can do that this weekend and give the Dirt Life audience a little bit more to look at. Well, again, thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, every single person that tunes in. We really, really appreciate it. We didn't get very many comments tonight. Maybe your guys' personal stuff did get a lot more comments than the Dirt Life did. But thank you very, very much, everybody tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much to our sponsors. We want to thank Shock Therapy. Go use the code DIRTLIFE and go get a big old fat discount. Zollinger Racing Products, use the same code, DIRTLIFE, and get a big fat discount on all their stuff. Thank you very much to Solderweld for always participating. We got some cool stuff coming up in the future for them. Next week, we got more Rockstar Energy, man. More Rockstar Energy. We have Jeremy Merrill coming on the show. Jeremy Merrill is a Rockstar Energy UTV Wolfpack driver, and he's one of the guys that got me into short course racing. So he's a fantastic dude. So the tie-in with Rockstar Energy keeps going. We really appreciate Jeremy coming on the show, and we can't wait to talk to him. Thank you very much, Steve. We'll just say thanks for Rockstar. Maybe they'll do something for us on the show, huh? So we really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Case, man. I really am glad to hear that your dad's doing better. I'm glad that your anniversary for your brain surgery is going really well.
Next week or week and a half, whatever. Yep.
It's just good to see, man, all of the stuff that he said, that infectious personality, how much he appreciates life, how much we appreciate life. I can't wait to keep this show going, man. He's got me hyped up. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the night. Maybe I'm going to just go bananas on the computer.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome.
So anybody you want to thank him anymore tonight?
Yeah, just everybody who's chiming in. You know, we'd love to have a little bit more, but at the same time, thanks to all the listeners for getting on. I mean, it's great.
You got some comments on your phone too?
I did, and unfortunately, I was not very responsible, and I have the black screen of death.
Oh, man. This is the second time your phone's died.
It's been a busy couple days, so I think I get a little bit of a pass, but
all right,
maybe not.
So
next time we're plugged in.
If we're going to consider me the host of the show and the leader, so to speak, like you were saying before, a great leader would bring a cell phone charger for you. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to install a cell phone charger right behind our chairs here.
I think we can do it.
Yeah.
So I think we can do it.
I'll take it as part of my my next duties, my homework. You can give me homework, and I'll get a cell phone charger for you.
That's your homework. We did have John Lavoie say he was commenting on my phone, and see, I blew it.
Oh, good. Well, John,
Sorry,
thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you liked it. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much. Episode 28 is coming up next week. Jeremy Merrill. We will see you guys later. Good night.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.